All right, you guys. So it looks like there has been an update on the Shanquella Robinson case. Not quite the update that we're looking for, where we hear the clank clank and see some people going to jail. But it does appear that some of the Cabo 6 members have decided that they would like some things dismissed, or they would like the case moved to Mexico. So let's start from the beginning. We know on October 28th of 2022, Shanquella was a young entrepreneur from Charlotte, North Carolina, where she ended up traveling to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, with a group of friends, so-called friends. No, we can't even say so-called friends, with a group of enemies that she was supposed to be on a fun vacation with. However, 24 hours later, on October 29th, she was found deceased. Now, at first, if you guys remember, her so-called friends or her so-called enemies told her family that she had passed away from alcohol poisoning. But then soon after that, we saw that disturbing video that showed Shanquella being brutally beaten in a hotel room while other people stood by recording instead of helping. Now, the autopsy report from Mexico contradicted the claims of alcohol poisoning and instead showed that she had suffered severe spinal cord and neck injuries. Now, this is what raised the serious suspicions that foul play was involved. Now, you think with a video, an autopsy, and the fact that this happened in a foreign country that the authorities would have acted swiftly, but we know that wasn't the case here. The Mexican government, they initially issued an arrest warrant for one of the women. I believe that was Dejanay, the one that we saw fighting Shanquella in the video, but no arrests were ever made. The FBI also got involved in 2023 of April, but then they didn't pursue any federal charges. I want to say they cited that there was insufficient evidence to prove that there was a crime beyond a reasonable doubt. So this left a lot of people upset, kind of like not understanding why this family was not getting the justice that they deserved for their loved one. So now we know Shanquella's mom, Salamandra Robinson, she's seeking millions in damages. And that amount is being requested for wrongful death, which includes emotional distress, financial loss, and of course, just the pain that she has had to suffer with. And honestly, none of this should have ever happened. But here we are, and she is still fighting. What is it? It'll be 3 years in October. So the latest motion comes from Khalil Cook, right? So they're all, I think, scrambling because they're trying to figure out what to do. So Khalil's attorney filed a motion, and I think that he's arguing that he was just a bystander during the incident and that the lawsuit should be heard in Mexico where the incident occurred. Now, his motion also aligns with some similar requests from other members of Cabo 6, including Elise Hyatt and Winter Donovan, who have also filed motions to actually dismiss the case. Now, these motions collectively argue that North Carolina is not the appropriate venue for the lawsuit, once again, given that the alleged events took place in Mexico and involve witnesses and evidence located there. So Shanquella's family's legal team, they are advocating for the case to be tried in the United States. They argue that the defendants are United States citizens and that the federal courts have jurisdiction over the matter. Now, despite all of that, the Mexican authorities have maintained that they still want the suspect extradited and prosecuted in their country. But despite social media pressure and protests, the United States government has yet to intervene. Now, in my closing thoughts, I want to say Shanquella's case is a painful reminder of how justice can be delayed or sometimes even denied despite there being clear evidence. And her family deserves answers and, more importantly, accountability. So if you want to support their fight and stay informed, share her story, demand action from those that are in power, And we'll just keep following this case and update you as new developments come in. But that's it for now, you guys. Drop down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts about all of this. And do you think that the case will be dismissed? Or, in Khalil's request, do you think that they will move this case over back into Mexico? I always love to hear what you guys are thinking. Let me know your thoughts. And as always, thanks for watching.